You want to start with that?
I did almost lose my voice last night, rooting for the Utes. So that was a fun night, fun couple hours to get away from prep and to watch that game and pull hard for Utah. So I'm excited about what's next for our football guys. I really am. So listen, today was a good second half. I did not think we were nearly as good as we needed to be in the first half, but our guys responded and played well. Give St. Francis credit. I thought they did some things to expose us in the first half, and we need to get some rest and obviously prepare for a big week.
Yeah, Felix mentioned how sometimes he feels like you guys are maybe waiting to get punched in the mouth a little bit and then responding in terms of physicality. Is that what you're seeing a little bit, and how can you come out faster in that regard?
No, I don't know if that's a pattern or not. You know, I'd have to go back and look at it. I just I think some of that is human nature that you got to fight, and I just didn't think that we were playing hard enough in the first half, and some of that can be blamed on fatigue, but I think more than anything we just weren't playing hard enough.
And then how important can a game like this be going to Big Ten play, getting back on track at home?
Well, you know, I think any coach will tell you when they return from Maui that the next couple weeks are concerning because of just the fatigue factor. So I think to be able to get back, and I thought we did some good things at Duke, but obviously not good enough. I thought we did some good things here today. We need to get rest, and obviously it's nice to get a win heading into the Rutgers game.
With that fatigue, how much does maybe some of that play into? You were able to sit some guys, and I know
Yeah.
when you win the way that you do, you're probably going to do that anyway. But like Justice only playing 17 minutes and Ice 24, like was that product of the game? Was that fatigue? Was some of those?
It was a little both. Yeah, it was a little probably combinations of both, and wanting to see our young guys play and get some game experience. You know, I think that was as important as anything.
In that second half, they're hanging around as a 10-point game, and then Zed got like 3 straight offensive rebounds, and it seemed like from there, offensively, you were able to pull away, and defensively, you locked in a little bit better. Did that stretch of him hitting the glass spark you a little bit? Yeah.
Yeah, you know, I think when Zed's playing hard, I think he's maybe the best offensive rebounding big, or one of the best. He's a top 5 offensive rebounding big in the country when he's really playing hard. I mean, he's really good at it when he's playing hard. So those were important for us.
Felix's activity there late in the second half, 10 points, I think, all in the second half, 12 rebounds as well. Was that a positive thing to see?
Yeah.
And also the four freshmen all in double figures today as well. How important was that?
Good, yeah, really good. Good just to see them play. You know, sometimes guys will play, you know, these kind of minutes. Sometimes they won't play these kind of minutes. So when they have these minutes in front of them, they obviously got to kind of continue to grow and get better. You know, I think Felix's rebounding, his defense and his defensive awareness in the post has to get better and grow, but he's a really willing learner. He's a great listener. He wants to get better. He just, you know, listen, he's a freshman big. We're going to see ups and downs with him all year, but it was good to see him have some success.
With Felix, I think he set career highs in points, rebounds, steals, several stats, but it takes more than just being tall to be a good rebounder. So at this stage of his career, what makes him such a good rebounder and shot blocker?
I think he has a chance to be a really good rebounder because his hands are pretty good, but really the biggest thing is his motor. His motor is really good, and again, it was good to see. I mean, he guarded a good, St. Francis has a good big guy, and they do a good job of getting him the ball in post situations. So on top of that, he got some good experience guarding a good post player. So that was good.
And there was a stretch with Bryce I want to say it was early in the second half, where he had the missed dunk and then the foul, and at the other end, he got scored on. Is that just going to be kind of part of the learning curve with him? I know with the minutes going up and down for him, is that just going to be, you know, part of the curve, the give and take?
Yeah, it is. It is. I think it's all part of growing. Yeah, I think he had at the end of the first half, maybe he had a wide open dunk.
Yeah, it was either end of the first half or the second.
Yeah, it's all part of, you know, he did a great job shot faking, attacking the rim. It's, you know, playing through those mistakes is critical. biggest thing, I don't want it to affect the other end and his focus and attention to detail on the other end. And I think he had some good moments today with that, and then moments that we can grow from.
In the first half, how much can you attribute that to? Yes, you're Maui, you're playing in that atmosphere, you're playing at Duke, you come back and it's a noon game at home. You know, the crowd isn't as into it as those other games, and nothing against the crowd, but it's just a different atmosphere.
It is a different atmosphere. Yeah, Maui, to your point, was a terrific atmosphere. I mean, playing in that thing, small was, and obviously I think Adam, you were there. I'm not sure if anybody else was there, but it's a terrific environment. And then obviously Duke was a terrific environment, high level game, down to the last 4 minutes. But you know, you try to not, you know, excuses are the tools for the incompetence. You try not to make as many as possible, and I think there was potentially some fatigue, but I think more than anything, it was we just didn't play to the effort level that this was requiring of us in the first half.
And Bruce seemed to be a guy that, despite being a freshman, has been just pretty steady. Hasn't been crazy ups, but there haven't been much downs either. How important is that, especially from the point guard position, to have a guy that can do that as a freshman and kind of lead your team that way?
Really, really important. He's steady is a great way of putting it. He is really steady. I mean, just really mature and steady, makes good decisions. He's shooting it like we saw him shoot it all summer, where he's going to make he's going to make more open threes than he's going to miss. We've seen that all summer with him, based on his shooting numbers, and then he's just really good. He's a really good decision maker.
Coach, you had stopped Josh Cohen and Maxwell Land in the game. I'm just curious, was there anything that you said to them? Or?
I just told them both were good players. They both had 12 at half, and Rob does a great job putting them in tough spots. I thought running those guys off of screening actions, I just had a lot of respect for how both those guys played and competed, and wish them well on the season. You know, anytime you're playing somebody and you beat them when they have a good season, it helps you guys too. So I certainly, and I like Rob, but they had a strong first half effort. That's what I said to them.
Coach, when we're through 7 games of the season, now Big Ten play is here.
7 or 8?
My math, my 8, including this.
Okay.
Sorry. Where do you think your team is? I mean, do you feel ready for Big Ten?
We'll see. Yeah, we'll see. I think like everybody, it's December. We're just we're work in progress. You know, I've said that most years, but there are some years where we were less a work in progress than what we are this year. Like I think our third year, I think we were just knew a little bit more. This year, we're just more to that point. But I think I've seen some good things that give us some real excitement about what we can grow into here in a couple of months. It's such a long season.
When you talk about being a work in progress, how interesting is it when you're on the bench to watch every game seemingly be a little different as you learn more from these guys?
Yeah, it's. I think every game is a learning experience for us. So, you know, we jumped. We had a lead. We lost it, got cut to 8, and then I think 6 in the second half. That's a really good experience for us. So I think all these things are just really important for our guys, and we can learn from the good and the bad. And there was a lot of both in this game.
Obviously, stats don't say everything, but when you go from having 3 threes against Duke to knocking down 13 today, how nice is it to sometimes just see the ball go through the basket?
It was really good. Part of the Duke situation was just how they were playing. They were really extended defensively, so they don't let you shoot a lot of threes. So some of that was more a byproduct of how teams play defensively versus us. We're always going to shoot threes. We always have. But I think a lot of that with Duke was just we didn't shoot as many because of how they were playing.
Coach, I had the pleasure of seeing Tanner play at Wright State the last few years. How's he coming along for you guys?
He's coming, he's growing. You know, I think it's been a learning experience for him and a growth experience. You know, in some ways, it's almost like a freshman. You take a jump in level. Good thing is we've got 2 years with him, and I think he'll continue to grow and get better. But it's definitely, you know, it's just a much different level, and you see that every day. But he's a great kid and wants to get better.
Coach, you've talked multiple times about how you've just been stressing rebounding and practicing that. And at halftime, you guys were actually tied 15 each at rebounds. But, to end the game, you guys out-rebounded them 47-25. What did you tell your team in the locker room that, they needed to work on? And then what else did you see in the second half that they still need to work on?
It was more, the conversation was pretty singularly focused at halftime. It was just effort and playing the right way. So we did touch on rebounding, but it was more focused on that.
Okay. And then how is Eugene doing? Is he still dealing with concussion, and how's his progress?
Yeah, I think I might have said last week. I'll let you know. As of now, he's out in kind of indefinitely, and we'll let you know if something changes.
Wanted to follow on Tanner, like a guy like him, a guy like Roddy, who they've struggled in these last 4 high major games, to have a game like this where they can maybe get their feet under them a little bit. How much of the things you take away, the positives from this, that they were able to see the ball go in and make some plays and maybe rebuild? I don't know if confidence is the right word, but it didn't give you as much in these last couple of games.
Yeah, we need that. I think we're going to need, and I think in Roddy's case, Adam, it could be just a defensive presence that he can provide. You saw him recover on that play and make a block on that play. He's really got defensive ability and talent. Offensively, he's just, he's not quite there yet as a freshman. It's going to take time for him. So I don't want to expect, that he's going to be a double-figure scorer for us, because I don't think that's necessarily the case. I think Tanner has to just continue to grow, figure out how we want to do things, but I think he's a work in progress too. But it was good for those guys just to see them play and then see the ball go through the hoop.
I did want to ask you specifically about that play that Roddy made defensively. What do you see from a freshman in that moment that enables him to make that kind of play? Does he do that kind of stuff in practice?
Yeah, he's a two-way player. His just defense is ahead of his offense right now, and that's fine. We need his defensive presence. And he's not a bad offensive player. It's just he's still reading the game. Stuff is fast. You saw the Duke play where he had it transition and turned it over. So, but man, he's a really good kid, and I think he's only going to get better in front of our eyes. I think we'll see with Roddy, if he has the right mindset. I really think we'll see growth in him come February. I really believe that.
Final follow-up. Felix had mentioned that he liked shooting threes more than dunking. He said he was kind of tired of dunking. Would you rather him shoot more threes?
Wow, it's a nice problem to have. Nice problem to have, to be tired of dunking. I'm not tired of watching him dunk. I want to make sure that's clear. I'm not tired of watching him dunk at all. Especially his rim threat's really important for us. Listen, I do believe at some point in his career, he's definitely going to shoot the ball from the perimeter for us. Mid-range, at some point, that's not necessarily what he needs to do with this team right now. But I know he enjoyed that moment.
Also want to say Kansas State just scored another touchdown.
Did they really?
21-10.
Go Bucks.
Go
Go Bucks.